An Iraqi military helicopter delivering aid to displaced refugees in northern Iraq has crashed. It happened in the Sinjar Mountains, killing the pilot. Thousands of minority Yazidis have been trapped in the hills, surrounded by militants from the Islamic State. The U.S., Iraqi military and other allies have been flying in humanitarian supplies to help them. Meanwhile, Iraq's incumbent Prime Minister Nouri al-Maliki now says security forces should stay out of the current political crisis. Associated Press Bureau Chief Vivian Salama is live in Baghdad with more. Vivian, so it seems like al-Maliki is sort of backing off his implied threat to use force to stay in power.
That's right. He came out today and sat with the military leaders to basically encourage them not to interfere in politics, which was a bit of a switch from the feeling here on the ground that we got yesterday when there was a somewhat heightened sense of security. There were some security forces out in the street, not a whole lot, but there was definitely a heightened amount of security. Today, he backed off from that. He really wanted to strike sort of a more conciliatory tone to say, we're going to make this work, we're going to get through this, I'm still the legitimate candidate, but let's not use any violence or force to do that. And so a lot of people still do believe that his days are numbered, just frankly because of the outpouring of support and congratulations that Prime Minister designate Haider al-Abadi got from the various international parties. You had Iran, which is considered one of al-Maliki's biggest allies, congratulating al-Abadi, saying it was a good step. The United States, the EU, so many parties involved. And so at this point, a lot of people think that, al-Maliki, it's in his best interest to gracefully step down and just relinquish his post. However, it's a question of what happens to him if he does as well. Would he be in danger? Is he going to go into exile? And would somebody take him if he goes into exile? All these questions now are coming up, and we still have another 29 days to go until we know really if Haider al-Abadi is going to be the next prime minister.
Vivian, let's talk about the airstrikes happening by the United States. How effective have they been?
They have been effective to a certain extent. You have a couple of airstrikes that targeted militants that were sort of rolling closer to the city of Erbil, which is the Kurdish capital up north. American forces said that they targeted artillery that was on the move going toward Erbil that could have essentially shelled Erbil if it were just a couple of kilometers beyond where they stopped them. And so after we heard that, we started hearing about successes and gains from the Peshmerga, which are the Kurdish forces. They started to retake cities, which had been several weeks since they had done that. However, we're also hearing that in different parts of the country, other cities are starting to fall now. And so really the question that remains now moving forward is how widespread are these strikes going to be? Are they going to focus on one geographic area, or are they going to encompass the entire country? Because at this point, there are so many fronts being fought, both by the Kurdish military and by the Iraqi military, that it really has to be sort of an all-inclusive effort to look at the entire country and not just certain geographic areas.